Hi, so I'm making a video which I hope is like super helpful to all you fellow parents out there, or even educators for that matter. So I had a baby and I realized that I had no idea like how to bring up this child. I was just not prepared for the fact that apparently between the ages of 0 to 5, like the brain develops faster than it ever will again, or like 90% of their brain development happens in that age. And I mean, these kind of numbers just freaked me out. And I thought, what am I supposed to do? And how am I supposed to do it? And so I did the thing that I do for everything, which is I found a book. And this book is phenomenal. It's called Mind in the Making by Ellen Galinsky, who's an expert in all issues and all topics child development. And so, what she says in this book has been really helpful with the way I think about raising my daughter, which is she says it's not what you teach your child, right? It's not all about what you teach your child, but it's about how you teach your child. And if you are able to teach them these 7 life skills, which to be quite frank, I think are applicable to adults, and we are all also probably not well honed on all these skills, but if you teach these 7 life skills and you are really setting your child up for like a very well adjusted, successful future. So, what I'm going to do is tell you about these 7 life skills. The first one is focus and self control. And that is sort of self explanatory. We all are, as adults, with our gadgets, losing focus. But we need to make sure that our children are able to develop the idea of being able to sit in one place, to focus on what they like, to be able to do some deep thinking and deep learning. It starts with us basically allowing them that free space and not disturbing them because we think they're done with an activity. We have to let them finish and develop that natural focus. But equally, we can play games at home like memory games and like what's that rhyme, and just things that allow them to like really think about what they're doing. The other thing is self control, not so much in the manner that like, oh, control your emotions, but like, stick to the plan. My daughter sometimes, she wants to paint something, but she gets so excited with the paint that she's painting herself. That's also fine, but reminding them that they actually had a plan in mind, and so they build that idea of like sticking to one thing, and they build focus. And the other thing goes without saying, but I'll say it, is you can really focus if you're well rested. So make sure children are well rested so that they can get up the next day and focus, much like ourselves. And the last point about that is please be mindful of the TV that you're letting your children watch, even if they are watching TV. Like try and make sure that they're not watching like 30-second clips, but with time are graduating to longer form programming appropriate for their age, and they're able to follow a storyline. That definitely helps build some amount of focus, right? Okay, the second skill is perspective taking. So, what do you think the other person feels about that? What do you think she felt about it? What do you think he feels about it? You can read a book and you can discuss the various characters. They can come back to you with a story from school and you can say, but what do you think the other kid felt? So, it's about teaching your child to like think about what other people might be feeling. And what's really interesting about this is that she says that, like, a lot of people try and solve like aggression that children have vis-a-vis other children or adults by doing some kind of problem solving, but it's not really problem solving that will solve it. It's actually perspective taking, because once they start getting slightly more empathetic to how other people might be feeling, that aggression slowly comes down. So a lot of parents struggling with that, like, you might want to try this and just like, you again, like I said, you can do it through books and stories. You can do it through role play, discussions like that. But it's really good, and it's something we use at work as well, right? If you are pitching to a client, you want to already anticipate what the client might need. So these are skills that you use when you grow up as well. Okay, the third is communicating, right? I mean, I'm probably talking nonstop, but in general, what are you trying to convey to someone? How do you actually formulate those thoughts? And as parents, how are we communicating to our child? Are we, slowly using? Are we being very evocative in the way that we use our facial expressions? Are we increasing our vocabulary with the child? Are we all sitting together and are we discussing, stories? Tell stories about your own life, and just like help build those communication skills. They will obviously go a long way. The fourth is making connections, and I don't mean making connections like adding people on LinkedIn, making connections, haha. I mean making connections like, connecting the dots between different stories, between different phenomena. Oh, it's raining today. That book had a rainbow, but there was something about a storm, whatever it might be. When we're kids, we tell them, put things by color, put things by size, put things by number. So it's just the idea of like making the universe becomes bigger when they grow up, but like trying to help them connect these dots, because this is really a really interesting skill that would help them like be more creative in life when they're able to join more thoughts together. So yeah, and the other thing I would say with this is that a lot of people, they don't value the arts, right? They don't think music is really going to help their kid, because ultimately they want them to study for like engineering or something on those lines. Music has so much math in it, right? So there are many things that you learn in the arts that will actually help you in other skills. So don't stop that creative side of your child. Getting homework at 4 is not a badge of honor. It basically means that you're stopping your kid from doing other things. I believe that. So think about that a little bit as you're thinking about where to send your kid for school, or like how to spend their free time. Let them be a little free. The fifth thing is critical thinking, right? And that, of course, this is a skill we all need at all times. But it's also like, what is critical thinking? Like, it's like this lifelong search for like new ideas, for valid knowledge, as she calls it. And I think like it's more like, if you determine what your goals are, you go looking for solutions, right? And so you need to think critically to get to new places. And I think critical thinking is that thing which will help us in the long run, because it seems like AI and technology is doing so much thinking for us, right? We don't need to think of like very basic things that's being spoon fed to us. Then where do we add societal value? And it's going to be really in this idea that like all these facts are being presented to us, all this data is being presented to us. Can we critically think and come up with new ideas for society? And I think this is a really important skill, even for us as adults to know. So that's one that you should like keep in mind. The sixth one, very, very important, is taking on challenges. So she talks about a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. And a fixed mindset is somebody who, they feel quite limited, and they feel like taking on a new challenge will really stress them out, and they have to do something new, and oh my God, I can't do it. Like, this is my capacity and this is it. And so that's a sort of a little bit of a fixed mindset when you're not challenging yourself, or you're daunted by these challenges. And the growth mindset is, you're like, no, I'm going to go and face this challenge head on. I've never done it before. Yes, it's scary, but you know what? I'm going to try anyway. A little bit, I hope, like me and this YouTube series, which I don't know how it started, but here I am. So let's see how it goes. But taking on these challenges, and I think that's really important. So this is not only about like managing stress and self-soothing, which obviously every one of us needs, but it's about going a little further than that. And I think if you can encourage that in children, whether it's climbing that tree, whether it's jumping off from that little bit of a higher point, whether it's like going and making new friends in the park without you introducing them, or climbing upstairs all by themselves. It's scary, but you know what, maybe they are up to the challenge. So let them do these things to actually grow. And then the seventh one is self-directed engaged learning, which basically means like you let children find something that they really value, or they want to pursue, or they seem to have some passion in, and you let them do their own thing, and you let them actually lead the way in terms of what they want to do. And I think that self-directed learning is like, another way is like, a child is not an empty vessel that you need to pour knowledge into, but the child inherently has things that they will start thinking about, and they will want to pursue and engage. And so you like enable that to happen. So your kid likes to sing, well, introduce him to, don't just put them in a class, introduce them to various forms of music, right? Or maybe you can sing with them, or maybe you can make rhyming songs with them. So just see what they like, and then try and show them what they can do with that passion, and then let them do their own thing. So you don't need to always be with them. I know it sounds like a lot of pressure for parents today. Our generation is way more involved than like our parents ever were. We were sent outside and told to come back when the lights come on, when the street lights come on. Now we're like hovering over them like crazy people. But that's parenting today. But within that, do it the right way, and make sure that you're getting the essential life skills into your kids. And then, as I say, if I get this right now, I'm going to be very free later on. So, so let me put in that effort right now. Okay. So that's a joke, but anyway, now telling you about a kids book that I have used to explain to my daughter that I'm going to be traveling for work, whether it's going to the office initially, but also I'm going to be traveling for 10 days. And I wanted her to like really understand where I'm going, and that I will miss her, but I need to go do these things. So I found this book online. I was specifically looking for a book about this. And so I found this book called Wherever You'll Be. And I think there are some books by Indian authors as well, and I'll start talking about those soon enough. But this is the one that I started with. And what I really like about it is that the mother sort of helping the child get dressed, and the child is helping the mother get dressed by choosing some clothes. But through the book, the mother says that if you miss me today, just blow me a kiss, and I'll be thinking of you as well, and I'll blow one back. So it's just that way of staying connected. But the pictures actually show the mother busy in her day and the daughter busy in her day in school. And again, she's in the meeting and she's in the arts and crafts class, and similarly, the mother's having a cup of coffee, the child is in the playground. And at the end of the day, the whole family meets again, and they talk about their day on the sofa. So what I really like about it is that it tells the child that, while you're at school, I'm also going to be busy doing my thing. And I'll think of you, but I need to go to work and do my thing, and you need to go to school and do your own thing. We'll meet again and we'll chat. And I've used this successfully for work trips which have been longer than 1 day, but I think she's understood. Not happy if I'm going for 10 days, but she's understood it and been extremely graceful about it. So, I find that the book has really helped me communicate with her. So, these are my two books, Mind in the Making and Wherever You'll Be. And this is video 9 of 10. Thanks for staying with me.